Episode 2 begins the very next morning at Sakura's house. That's Sakura, who was 10 years old, whose life had changed forever since in the last episode woke up in her upstairs bedroom. The moment that Sakura woke up, she now recognizes Kira from the last episode, the same creature from the cloud book that she discovered downstairs in her father's basement, where the cloud cards come from. Now remember, in the last episode, she made one fateful accident that changed her life forever. Then back to the present in Sakura's upstairs bedroom. She now remembers that she was chosen to be a card captor because of Kiro, and for one simple reason, to capture all the cloud cards that had accidentally escaped. At first, in the last episode, she declined this idea, but yet again, Kiro tries to convince her otherwise, because he just showed her the flight card that she had captured since the night before. Now in her school uniform, Score goes downstairs for breakfast, instead grabbed a couple cookies, and then goes back upstairs and gave the cookies to Kiro, while Sakura puts on the hat that matches her school uniform. So Sakura explains to Kiro that she and her brother are in school, and so's her father. So Kiro says, "Wait, your father's in school?" "Well, he's a university teacher," Sakura explains. Before Sakura can leave for school, that's when she told Carol that whatever you do, don't leave this room. "Don't worry, I won't," Carol says. And so off she went to the Reddington Elementary School where she attends, since in the last episode to meet up with her best friend, Madison. So meanwhile, at the Reddington Elementary School, where Sakura was supposed to meet up with her best friend, well, good news, she makes it to her classroom. And then Madison Taylor, you remember her from the last episode, she shows up in the same classroom as Sakura is. Not only did Sakura's best friend Madison said that she has an idea for the project, but she said that she has something to show Sakura what she did the night before. So when Sakura saw her best friend's video, what she saw was unbelievable. Sakura in her pajamas flying on her staff when she captured a flight card the previous night at her house. But what Sakura didn't also know that in her backpack was Kiro, and he was supposed to be staying at Sakura's house. So even though Madison, up until that moment, has never met Kiro, who somehow snuck away in Sakura's backpack, she now recognizes the same creature she saw on the tape. So later that afternoon during recess, the first thing that Carol did when she came out of Sakura's purse was to apologize. And the reason why he's apologizing is because he confessed that he wanted to see what Sakura's school looked like. At least he told that to Sakura. So Sakura went ahead and introduced Carol to her best friend, Madison. But Madison makes the case to say he doesn't look like a Carol Bros. In fact, he looks kind of cute. Well, Carol doesn't like that comment at least a bit. "Well," Carol told Madison, "I'm not only the guardian beast of the seal, but I am also the guardian of the cloud cards." At first, back during recess, when the kids were playing dodgeball, something weird was moving on the ground, but nobody seems to think much of it. Back with Sakura and Madison, now Sakura has no point in denying it any longer, and to hide it from her best friend Madison. So Sakura went ahead and showed her best friend that yes, she's a card captor, just like she was chosen to since in the last episode. Now that Sakura has shown her best friend, and after she revealed to be a card captor, Sakura that is, so Madison is asking Sakura, "So let me get this straight. This staff of yours that you just transformed from a key, it gives you powers, right?" "Well, I'm going to need the cards as well," Sakura explains. So Kira was more than happy to show Madison the fly card that Sakura has caught since the last episode. So Madison was asking Sakura if she would film her. Meanwhile, in the courtyard, where there's a statue standing there, every kid's shadows is starting acting weird, and they go inside in each of the classrooms inside the school. The next morning at school, that's when Sakura, as usual, meets her best friend. That was until the students just hear a commotion that's coming from nearby. Besides Madison, her best friend, Sakura has other friends at school too: Chelsea, Nikki, and Rita. So when Sakura asks one of the girls, "What's going on here?" Rita, who's Sakura's second best friend, said, "Come see for yourself." And that's when Sakura saw it, a bunch of desks that's stacking up for no reason. from both outside and inside. Even Rita explains that nobody knows exactly how it happened. It just happened for no apparent reason. Even the rest of the students of Reddington Elementary couldn't believe what they'd seen. So you know what this means? Something weird is happening in Sakura's school. But the problem is, what is it? Then when Madison, who's Sakura's best friend, came up minutes later to join up with Sakura, she too sensed that something was weird. Then Madison had a thought and then asked her best friend, could it be that one of those cloud cards you mentioned have caused this somehow? So back at Sakura's house later that afternoon, with Madison and Sakura in Sakura's upstairs bedroom, that's when Kiro had a thought and realized that, yep, there's no doubt about it. It's indeed a cloud card, a shadow card to be exact. So you know what this also means. Sakura's best friend Madison is definitely onto something. So the shadow card is the one that's responsible for stacking up all the desks inside the school and inside, and the students are the one to clean up. Well, cheer up, Madison said to Sakura. Think of it this way. At least it happens right after class. Well, before Sakura can go on her mission, so she has to be the one who could find out what's going on. Why me? Sakura said. Well, you are the card captor, so you'll have to catch it. So, what if I can't? Sakura asked. Well, Kiro says, and then asks the question, need I have to remind you of who's that person who accidentally let those cloud cards out in the first place to begin with? So you know what this means. Kiro, however, has a plan that Sakura must go back to where it all started, at Sakura's school, and it has to be done later that evening. When Sakura heard that from Kiro, she says, what? Absolutely not. There's no way I'm going there at this late at night. I'm sorry, Kiro said, but there's no other way. So, in other words, what Kiro's telling Sakura that there's no other choice. Now, Madison, who agrees with Kiro to say, you're right, cloud cards don't usually attack until later on at night. So, in Madison's case, the school might be the place to start. Then Madison told her best friend that even better, I'm going with you. Then Madison also suggested to bring her camcorder with her. Then it's agreed then, Kiro says. So you know what this means? It's mission time. So later that night at Sakura's school, now you could tell right then that Sakura doesn't like this idea at all. She can get into trouble. But Kiro tells her not to worry about it. It'll be a piece of cake, he tells her. Then moments later, Sakura's best friend Madison shows up, but she's not alone because she has four of her bodyguards with her. But that's not all. There's a van, and inside were a bunch of battle costumes for Sakura. I guess you could say that Madison does have a talent. And of course, that's something even better. There are matching ones for Kiro as well. So Madison asked her best friend, what better way to capture a cloud card with these special costumes and matching ones for Kiro? And of course, she's not kidding. Even Kiro agrees with Sakura's best friend. So you know what this means? They're now all dressed up, both Sakura and Kiro. So anyway, after a short fashion show, thanks to Madison and her camcorder, that's when Sakura pleaded herself to case to say, I didn't even sign up for this. But suddenly, when Sakura looked over her shoulder, she saw that there was something weird about the school statue, and for no apparent reason, something lifted the statue up in the air. But wait, that's not all. Sakura spotted something on the ground, something she's never seen before. So Kira had been right, because back at Sakura's house, he suspected it is a cloud card. Oh, it is indeed a cloud card, all right. A shadow card. Then Sakura had a thought, and that Kira had been proven right. That explains why all the desks at school have been stacking up everywhere, inside and out. Since Sakura knows what to do, she has to capture the shadow card. Sakura knows what to do. She uses her cloud staff, in which she transformed from a key. And she did. Well, long story short, Sakura has been battling shadows for a while. until finally she was having trouble. But thanks to Madison, aha, she has a plan that shadows hate light. So what did Madison do? She decided to turn on all the school's lights outside, and so she did. So thanks to Madison turning on all the lights, all the shadows disappeared. Well, except for one shadowy figure. Of course, Sakura knows what to do. She uses the windy card first, thanks to her cloud staff. And then finally, at long last, once the shadowy figure's all tied up, Sakura captures it. So you've heard right. The shadow card has been captured thanks to Sakura. And let's not forget, Madison, who's Sakura's best friend, helped out along the way, so she deserves most of the credit. Of course, you've heard right. Kiro now has a partner. Madison Taylor, of course, Sakura's best friend. So the next morning at school, when Sakura shows up and was looking at the same video that Madison did, so Madison not only told Sakura that she taped everything the night before, but she asked one question. Do me a favor. Will you please tape me the next time you capture cars like this? So Sakura agrees. And Madison says, oh, one more thing. There's something even better. I'm in charge of your costumes as well. So, yep, you've heard right. Sakura has captured 3 cloud cards so far, but there's so much to do. But at least she has her best friend Madison who could help out in any way she could. So that ends episode 2.